Good morning, everybody. I trust and hope that you had a fabulous weekend. It's Monday, it's a beautiful day, and so I decided to come outside early before work and share a story with you. I wanted to kind of make it light and fun, but I want to see if you can figure this one out because this is not an easy one. If you figure it out, why don't you shoot me a text or send me a note because I don't think you're going to. So that's a challenge to you. You ready to go? This one is also from Paul Harvey, rest of the story by his son Paul Aurandt, and I am excited to share it with you. So here we go. It's called We're Going to Make You a Star. The path from anonymity to stardom is almost always under construction. Sometimes it's a dead end. Sometimes it's deeply paved with fool's gold. Still, if the yellow brick road were a superhighway, there'd be more of us on the screen than in the theater, and that just couldn't be. The movie business is glutted with 10-year-old overnight success actors and actresses who've paid their dues by haunting the casting lines for bit parts in cheap productions while part-timing as store clerks and waitresses. Then a small break and a larger one and a larger one until the shock wave hits and the name nobody knew is suddenly scripted in neon. This is a story of George, for whom it happened in reverse. In and out of trouble as a boy, there seemed to be no direction in his life. George, the young man who had no thoughts of becoming an actor, but the producers who discovered him recognized a natural talent. Somewhere buried beneath all that toughness, there was a freewheeling style, a beguiling nonchalance that attracted people to him. This, decided the box office barons, would make him a star. George's first film was completed in record time. Only a few days covered the entire shooting. Everyone on the set was convinced, and the elated producers saw the character they had counted on come to life. It was a dream for a newcomer. Remember, George had never acted before. But his supporters had faith, so much in fact that he received $25,000 for his first job in the industry. That's a lot of money back then. When young George got the check, what do you think he did? No, he didn't lose it, all to slow horses and fast women, but neither did he put it in the bank. You see, those 5 figures on that little slip of paper symbolized his first success as an actor. Proudly, repeatedly, he displayed the check to all his friends and anyone else who might be impressed along the way. Carried it with him wherever he went. Look at my check. Look at my check. Months passed for George and his check. The honeymoon had come to an end. By the time he finally got it to the bank, much had happened. The motion picture already released had failed miserably. The producers were bankrupt, and the check, yes, the check that he'd carried around, bounced. All George had to show for his hour of glory was an ego as deflated as his pocketbooks. If the failure off his screen career was easier to take than you'd think, it was because he'd had his heart set on another from the very beginning. The silent film producers who spotted George had pegged him as a star, and they were right. But it would take many years and many failures and another profession to prove it. George would act again, yes, in a successful film, but only after he'd made a fabulous name for himself elsewhere. In that circuitous route to stardom, he would bring to the screen his own character, and all the characteristics his fans had come to love. George never shook the toughness of youth, and that rugged, blunt-faced determination is summed up in a nickname that the world knows very, very well. If companion meteors have since flared out and burned to cosmic dust, his star still shines and always will. George Herman Babe Ruth. And now you know the rest of the story. Thanks again for joining me this morning. I hope you have a fabulous week. And until tomorrow, be safe.